Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and this is my coffee. Enjoy the little things. That's my coffee cup today. Mm. Here's to you. I'm hoping you have a nice hot cup of coffee, hot cup of tea. It could be water, soda, juice, smoothie, whatever it is. I hope you're sharing it with me today. Mm. Wow. Incredible. This is March 31st. It is the last day of March. It seems like just yesterday where we were greeting them, the beginning of March, the Ides of March. And here we are at the end of March. I hope it has been a great, eventful, fruitful month for you. We are heading into April, the new quarter for the year, April 1st, April Fool's Day. I'm not doing any April Fool's Day jokes today. At least I don't think I am. Mm, mm. This coffee is wonderful. This is my coffee, and I am Kevin, Kevin Martin. That's why it's called Coffee with Kevin. I'm Kevin, and I am a hypnotherapist. I am an NLP master practitioner. I'm an author. I'm a trainer. I'm a speaker. I do a lot of things. I have my hands in a lot of things. Speaking about being an author, today we're taking another chapter out of Living Your Dream Life, which I just published the second edition a few months ago. Living Your Dream Life. I love the title that I came up with because it really is it really is about perceptions. The subtitle is simply by changing your perceptions, and it's how you perceive things. You could be living a terrible life and change your perceptions, and all of a sudden you're living a wonderful life. And it is subjective to the person who's experiencing it. Remember that it's subjective to the person who's experiencing it. So the second chapter is about mission. It's about discover. It's actually entitled "Your Mission Should You Accept It." That comes, of course, from Mission Impossible. But it's about creating a mission. Many years ago, when I was doing consulting with companies, and I was doing customer service consulting, but I had the departments, if not the whole company, if it was a small company, create a mission, define and create a mission for themselves. And a mission is something that's your overarching thing that you want to do, become, um, accomplish. So it's basically purpose. When it comes to individuals, it's basically purpose. Not always the exact same thing. So in my book, I talk about creating a mission statement for you, for the individual, just like a business might have theirs. Okay. Because you know what? I start talking a little bit about goals. I start talking a little bit about goals and why they fail. They don't fail for all of us. Some of us know how to make goals and do them well. But the main reason why they fail is that they're not aligned with really deep down who you are, who you want to be. When you create a goal that's not aligned with that, you're not going to get that. And the same thing happens with the law of attraction, right? If you want something and what you want is not aligned with who you are in your values, then you're not going to get it. And that's why law of attraction, that's why manifesting doesn't work for a lot of us, is because we don't align what we want to manifest with really who we are. We have all these other things going on in the back of our mind that says, hey, wait a second here, that's not for you. That, oh, you can't do that. Things like that. So, this is kind of like the missing link is to have a purpose, is to find a mission. And not having that or setting goals that aren't that is the incongruence trap. Yeah, incongruence. I love that. Congruency was and still is a big thing for me, especially when I went to trainings all over the world, and I learned a lot, a lot of personal development trainings. I did the whole Tony Robbins, and I got trainings by other mentors and trainers, and congruency was a big thing. So if someone's up there training me in how I should act and how I should feel and how I should think, and then I see them out in, outside of the training facility, and they're acting, talking, and doing things that aren't congruent with what they told me I should be doing, then that actually caused that to fail for me, right? Because they're basically preaching lies, preaching things that they don't believe. And so congruency is a big thing. And congruency is a big thing when it comes to ourselves. If what we want and what we're trying to do and how we're acting isn't congruent with who we are deep down, then it's not going to be successful for us. So that's how I approach this chapter is okay, let's find a mission. Let's find a mission for you. Now, I have had people say, "Well, I really my purpose and my mission and really this, but I don't seem to be acting that way." Matter of fact, one of the lessons I give in the book is ask the people around you how they think you are as a person, right? And then from that you can create your mission. But the question is, what if it's something I don't like? So I tell the story about El, Albert Alfred Nobel, not Albert, but Alfred Nobel. And when you say that name, you think about Nobel, you think about Nobel Peace Prize and all those other prizes, and say, "Wow, this my guy must have been a good guy." This guy invented dynamite. This guy invented dynamite, and you know what? They didn't use dynamite too much for building back then when he invented it because they didn't have a lot of construction, like we do today. But dynamite was used as a weapon of war. It was making bombs, killing people. So he was reading an obituary for his brother, but the journalist mistook his brother for him. So it was really his obituary he is reading, and they called him the harbinger of death. And he looked at that because he was selling the dynamite to governments and communities that wanted to use it for war, then and building the dynamite, constructing dynamite, and things like that. People would die. People would die just doing that. So there was death all around him, and he thought about that. He says, "No, this is not who I am, what I want to be, what I want to be known as." So he changed his life, donated a lot of money, and that's how he created the Peace Prize, and that was the original prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, because he didn't want war, he wanted peace. So he was able to change himself. So if we are acting one way and we want to act another way, there is a possibility of change. And you create your mission at such a deep level. What you want to do. He changed his mission. His mission was to make money with this incredible the invention that he had that at the time was its best use was for war. So he changed his mission and he became more congruent. And I talk about mission as as an umbrella. So every decision that you make, every major decision that you make for your life and for your family and everything should be congruent with your mission. So that's why you figure out and find a mission. Now again, you can think of it as purpose, and in a lot of ways it is. Power of personal mission. I decided because I had worked with corporate missions, it was basically a mirror. a mirror to how corporate missions go. Just as successful companies use a mission statement to define their identity and approach to business, you can use it for yours. And go in identity, it becomes your identity, as I was saying, right? Identity versus goals. Goals are specific to the what, but the mission is the overarching principle that defines you, the who. And it actually, in somewhere in there, the purpose comes out, and that's the why. So examples of missions, personal missions is seize a rising opportunity, never let favorable chance slip by. If you're aggressive and looking to grow as much as you can, that might be your mission. Illuminate the lives of others positively as I journey through my own. That's mirrors a little bit of my mission. So you could have a mission statement like that, or construct a brighter future for my children and their children. If your mission's all around your family, you're going to construct a brighter future. And by the way, think of the decision making you're going to make as you're going through life, the major decisions. And if yours is construct a brighter future for my children and their children, it would be about maybe amassing wealth so they can have that, but it's also about being the role model for them. It's also about not doing anything that's detrimental to the growth, to the personal and mental growth of your children. So it means you don't step out of line if you had that mission. All right. We have unconscious missions. Even if you haven't written one down, you likely have an unconscious mission shaping you. So you want to check that out. Again, ask the people around you what they think about you, what they think your mission or your purpose might be. And there's a role of integrity that is also there. Are you someone others admire? Or do people trust you to follow through on your word? This is integrity is a big part when you're looking at a really good, solid mission that not only impacts you, but impacts others around you. So, yeah, living your mission is about knowing your mission, defining it, writing it down. I've said this many times when it comes to goals, when it comes to everything that you're dealing with that's really tough, write it down. Write it down. So living your mission is craft a concise sentence in a brief paragraph. I'll tell you what my mission statement when I defined it 20 some odd years ago, 26, 27 years ago, is helping people to help themselves. It was simple. It was concise. Everything I do, including this, is to help you to therefore help yourself. When I work with my clients, when I write marketing books, which is I'm in the process of doing that now. Um, it's to help individuals and help people help themselves. So that's my purpose. Then you can have a daily practice. Transcribe your mission and place it somewhere visible. So you're reading it all the time. So you're reading it at least a couple of times. Read it out loud. Align your subconscious with your aspirations. So again, as I say, if there wasn't congruence, this will help there be congruence. And you know what? When your daily actions become congruent with your mission, you stop wandering aimlessly and start mastering your trajectory. I mentioned direction at the beginning, and your mission gives you the direction. It gives you the aim, and you move towards it to be able to do that. So before we end, like usual, I have some quotes on mission. And the first one is with John F. Kennedy. And I've been thinking a lot about John F. Kennedy lately because he started the NASA program. He started saying, okay, we're going to get, in 10 years, we're going to get some man on the moon. And we did it. Okay. So he says that efforts in courage are not enough. without purpose and direction. Efforts and courage and not enough without purpose and direction. And it's true. You need to have the direction, and the mission gives you that. You need to have purpose, and the mission is tied to your purpose. Now, from a baseball star, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. You'll be buried. I love that. If you don't know where you were going, you'll end up someplace else. Well, you end up someplace, but you don't know where. A mission isn't just what you do, it's the reason you keep going when it gets hard. Now, I had this made up. I asked for what I wanted, and I got it. I got AI to make that up for me. So I'll say it's AI's. It's not mine. A mission isn't just what you do. It's the reason you keep going when it gets hard. Yes, a little philosophy here from Nietzsche. He who has a why to live can bear almost any way in which you're trying to do things. He who has a why to live, the why, the mission, the purpose. Lastly, a mission statement is not something you write overnight, but fundamentally, your mission statement becomes your constitution. I love that. Stephen Covey from Seven Habits. Your mission statement becomes your constitution. It becomes, this is what I'm saying. You write it, you read it every day. So it sinks down in you and it becomes a part of you, your constitution. So think about your mission. Think about your mission. Your mission is more of, okay, it's like a purpose, but it's what you're here for. It's not the why, it's what you're here to do. So think about that. Give it some thought. Write down a few of them and see what works best for you. And then write it down so you can see it every day and read it every day, a couple times a day. And after a while, you will be in such a direction to accomplish that mission. And the mission statement isn't a goal. It's not where I want to get to. It's what I want to be doing. So write your mission and have a great, fantastic, phenomenal week. And remember, it's not because I'm wishing it for you. It's in your control to do that. It's in your hands to make it that great, that phenomenal, that fantastic. You can do it. I know you can. Till next week, take care. Hold on. Before I leave, I see that I've had some chats. And I want to, Larry, Jerry, Brenda, hey, and Manya, all good morning to all of you. I didn't see the chats early, so I apologize. Good morning to everyone. Take care, all. Bye.